time, in White Plains, New York, lived a boy whose father was a dentist and mother was a physician. He was interested in computers from an early age, but whoever imagined that one day this boy would grow up and become the CEO of Facebook, known as Mark Zuckerberg. But how did Mark Zuckerberg become the creator of Facebook? And why did he create Facebook? Is it true that Zuckerberg suffers from red-green color blindness and sees the color blue best, which is why Facebook is dominated by the blue color? Is he a vegetarian? Is his dog a celebrity too? Is Zuckerberg known for being frugal? Can he laugh? What was his life like before fame? It's time for me to answer all these questions and more, since this is ASMR. Aaron, back at it again with another daily video to help you relax. So lay back and enjoy the ride. I hope this read helps you get you through your day, or even better, I hope this video helps you gently fall asleep. I can't wait to get started. This is the tale of Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg was born on May 14, 1984, in White Plains, New York, into a comfortable, well-educated family. He was raised in the nearby village of Dobbs Ferry. Zuckerberg's father, Edward Zuckerberg, ran a dental practice attached to the family's home. His mother, Karen, worked as a psychiatrist before the birth of the couple's 4 children, Mark, Randy, Donna, and Ariel. Zuckerberg developed an interest in computers at an early age. When he was about 12, he used Atari Basic to create a messaging program he named ZuckNet. His father used the program in his dental office so the receptionist could inform him of a new patient without yelling across the room. The family also used ZuckNet to communicate within the house. Together with his friends, he also created computer games just for fun. "I had a bunch of friends who were artists," he said. "They'd come over, draw stuff, and I'd build a game out of it." To keep up with Zuckerberg's burgeoning interest in computers, his parents hired private computer tutor David Newman to come to the house once a week and work with Zuckerberg. Newman later told reporters that it was hard to stay ahead of the prodigy, who began taking graduate courses at nearby Mercy College around the same time. Zuckerberg later studied at Phillips Exeter Academy, an exclusive preparatory school in New Hampshire. There he showed talent in fencing, becoming the captain of the school's team. He also excelled in literature, earning a diploma in classics. Yet Zuckerberg remained fascinated by computers and continued to work on developing new programs. While still in high school, he created an early version of the music software Pandora, which he called Synapse. Several companies, including AOL and Microsoft, expressed an interest in buying the software and hiring the teenager before graduation. He declined the offers. After graduating from Exeter in 2002, Zuckerberg enrolled at Harvard University. After his sophomore year, Zucker dropped out of college to devote himself to his new company, Facebook, full-time. By his sophomore year at the Ivy League institution, he had developed a reputation as the go-to software developer on campus. It was at that time that he built a program called Course Match, which helped students choose their classes based on the course selections of other users. He also invented Face Mash, which compared the pictures of 2 students on campus and allowed users to vote on which one was more attractive. The program became wildly popular, but was later shut down by the school administration after it was deemed inappropriate. Based on the buzz of his previous projects, 3 of his fellow students, Divya Narendra, and twins Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, sought him out to work on an idea for a social networking site they called Harvard Connection. This site was designed to use information from Harvard student networks in order to create a dating site for the Harvard elite. Zuckerberg agreed to help with the project, but soon dropped out to work on his own social networking site, the Facebook. Zuckerberg and his friends Dustin Moskovitz, Chris Hughes, and Eduardo Saverin created the Facebook, a site that allowed users to create their own profiles, upload photos, and communicate with other users. The group ran the site out of a dorm room at Harvard University until June 2004. That year, Zuckerberg dropped out of college and moved the company to Palo Alto, California. By the end of 2004, Facebook had 1 million users. In 2005, Zuckerberg's enterprise received a huge boost from the venture capital firm Accel Partners. Accel invested $12.7 million into the network, which at that time was only open to Ivy League students. Zuckerberg's company then granted access to other colleges, high school, and international schools, pushing the site's membership to more than 5.5 million users by December 2005. The site began attracting the interest of other companies and wanted to advertise with the popular social hub. Not wanting to sell out, Zuckerberg turned down offers from companies such as Yahoo and MTV Networks. Instead, he focused on expanding the site, opening up his projects to outside developers, and adding more features. Zuckerberg seemed to be going nowhere but up. However, in 2006, the business mogul faced his first big hurdle. The creators of Harvard Connection claimed that Zuckerberg stole their idea and insisted the software developer needed to pay for their business losses. Zuckerberg maintained that the ideas were based on 2 very different types of social networks. After lawyers searched Zuckerberg's records, incriminating instant messages revealed that Zuckerberg may have intentionally stolen the intellectual property of Harvard Connection and offered Facebook users private information to his friends. Zuckerberg later apologized for the incriminating messages, saying he regretted them. If you're going to go on to build a service that is influential and that a lot of people rely on, then you need to be mature, right? He said in an interview with The New Yorker, "I think I've grown and learned a lot." Although an initial settlement of $65 million was reached between the 2 parties, the legal dispute over the matter continued well into 2011, after Narendra and the Winklevosses claimed they were misled in regards to the value of their stock. In 2010, screenwriter Aaron Sorkin's movie The Social Network was released. The critically acclaimed film received 8 Academy Award nominations. Sorkin's screenplay was based on the 2009 book The Accidental Billionaires by writer Ben Mesrick. Mesrick was heavily criticized for his retelling of Zuckerberg's story, which used invented scenes, reimagined dialogue, and fictional characters. Zuckerberg objected strongly to the film's narrative and later told a reporter at The New Yorker that many of the details in the films were inaccurate. For example, Zuckerberg had been dating his longtime girlfriend since 2003. He also said he was never interested in joining any of the final clubs. It's interesting what stuff they focused on getting right, like single shirt and fleece that I had in that movie is actually a shirt or fleece that I own. Zuckerberg told a reporter at a startup conference in 2010. So there's all this stuff that they got wrong and a bunch of random details that they got right. Yet Zuckerberg and Facebook continued to succeed in spite of the criticism. Time magazine named him Person of the Year in 2010, and Vanity Fair placed him at the top of their new establishment list. In May 2012, Facebook had its initial public offering, which raised $16 billion, making it the biggest internet IPO in history. After the initial success of the IPO, the Facebook stock price dropped somewhat in the early days of trading, though Zuckerberg is expected to weather any ups and downs in his company's market performance. In 2013, Facebook made the Fortune 500 list for the first time, making Zuckerberg, at the age of 28, the youngest CEO on the list. Zuckerberg was criticized for the proliferation of fake news posts on his site, leading up to the 2016 U.S. presidential election. In early 2018, he announced a personal challenge to develop improved methods for defending Facebook users from abuse and interference by nation-states. Previous personal challenges began in New Year's 2009 and have included only eating meat he killed himself and learning to speak Mandarin. We won't prevent all mistakes or abuse, but we currently make too many errors enforcing our politics and preventing misuse of our tools, he wrote on his Facebook page. If we're successful in this year, we'll end 2018 on a much better trajectory. Zuckerberg came under fire again a few months later when it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica, a data firm with ties to President Donald Trump's 2016 campaign, had used private information from approximately 87 million Facebook profiles without the social network alerting its owners. The resulting outcry seemed to shake investors' confidence in Facebook, its shares dropping by 15% after the news became public. Following a few days' silence, Zuckerberg surfaced on various outlets to explain how the company was taking steps to limit third-party developers' access to the user information, and said he would be happy to testify before Congress. On Sunday, March 25th, Facebook took out full-page ads in 7 British and 3 American newspapers, penned in the form of a personal apology from Zuckerberg. He promised the company would investigate all of its apps and remind users which ones they can shut off. "I'm sorry we didn't do more at the time," he wrote. "I promise to do better for you." The follow-up hearing before the House Energy and Commerce Committee proved far testier, as its members grilled the Facebook CEO over privacy concerns. During the day's testimony, Zuckerberg revealed that his personal information was among the data harvested by Cambridge Analytica and suggested that legal regulation of Facebook and other social media companies was inevitable. The negative PR around the 2016 election and Cambridge Analytica scandal seemingly did little to slow the company's progress. Facebook saw its stock close at a record $203.23 on July 6, 2018. The surge bumped Zuckerberg past Berkshire Hathaway chief Warren Buffett to become the world's third richest person, behind fellow tech titans Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. Any gains were wiped out when Facebook shares dropped a staggering 19% on July 26th, following an earnings report that revealed a failure to meet revenue expectations and slowing user growth. Nearly $16 billion of Zuckerberg's personal fortune was erased in one day. The stock rebounded, and Zuckerberg remains one of the world's wealthiest people. In 2019, Forbes ranked Zuckerberg at number 8 on its billionaires list, behind Microsoft founder Bill Gates, number 2, and ahead of Google co-founders Larry Page, number 10, and Sergey Brin, number 14. The magazine estimated his net worth to be about $62.3 billion at the time. In June 2019, Facebook announced it was getting into the cryptocurrency business with the planned launch of Libra in 2020, along with developing the blockchain technology to power its financial infrastructure. Facebook established a Switzerland-based oversight entity called the Libra Association, comprised of tech giants like Spotify and venture capital firms like Andreessen Horowitz. The news again put Zuckerberg in the crosshairs of Congress, which summoned the CEO to testify before the House Financial Service Committee in October. Despite providing assurances that Facebook would withdraw the Libra Association if the project failed to garner approval from regulators, Zuckerberg faced pointed questioning from skeptical lawmakers who cited the Cambridge Analytica fiasco and other past transgressions. Zuckerberg has been married to Priscilla Chan, a Chinese-American medical student he met at Harvard since 2012. The longtime couple tied the knot one day after Facebook's IPO. About 100 people gathered at the couple's Palo Alto, California home for the ceremony. The guests thought they were there to celebrate Chan's graduation from medical school, but instead they witnessed Zuckerberg and Chan exchange vows. Zuckerberg has 2 daughters, Max, born on November 30th, 2015, and August, born on Zuckerberg has 2 daughters, Max, born on November 30th, 2015, and August, born on August 28th, 2017. The couple announced they were expecting both of their children on Facebook. When Zuckerberg welcomed Max, he announced he would be taking 2 months of paternity leave to spend with his family. Since amassing his sizable fortune, Zuckerberg has used his millions to fund a variety of philanthropic causes. The most notable examples came in September 2010 when he donated $100 million to save the failing Newark public school system in New Jersey. Then, in December 2010, Zuckerberg signed the Giving Pledge, promising to donate at least 50% of his wealth to charity over the course of his lifetime. Other Giving Pledge members include Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and George Lucas. After his donation, Zuckerberg called on other young, wealthy entrepreneurs to follow suit. With a generation of younger folks who have thrived on the success of their companies, there is a big opportunity for many of us to give back earlier in our lifetime and see the impact of our philanthropic efforts, he said. In November 2015, Zuckerberg and his wife also pledged in an open letter to their daughter that they would give 99% of their Facebook shares to charity. We are committed to doing our small part to help create this world for our children, the couple wrote in the open letter that was posted on Zuckerberg's Facebook page. We will give 99% of our Facebook shares, currently about $45 billion, during our lives to join many others in improving this world for the next generation. In September 2016, Zuckerberg and Chan announced that the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative, CZI, the company into which they put their Facebook shares, would invest at least $3 billion into scientific research over the next decade to help cure, prevent, and manage all diseases in our children's lifetime. Renowned neuroscientist Corey Bargmann of the Rockefeller University was named the president of science at CZI. They also announced the founding of Chan Zuckerberg BioHub, a San Francisco-based independent research center that will bring together engineers, computer scientists, biologists, and chemists, and other scientific community. A partnership between Stanford University, the University of California, San Francisco, and the University of California, Berkeley, BioHub will receive initial funding of $600 million over 10 years. And so ends the tale of the creator of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, who lived happily ever after, making sure that we can all stay connected wherever we are. Such a nice guy.